We rabbis try very hard to bring people into the synagogue, to bring them under the wings of Judaism and Torah. But I heard this story recently of a mother who tried very hard with her son. One Saturday morning, late, she said to him, "Wake up, you have to go to shul." And he said, "I don't want to go to shul." And she said, "Wake up, you have to go to shul." "I don't want to go to shul." "Why do I have to go to shul?" "I don't want to go to shul because I don't like it there. I don't like anybody in the shul. And nobody in the shul likes me. Why do I have to go?" And his mother said, "Well, there are two reasons. First of all, you're 40 years old. And second of all, you're the rabbi." They laughed before the punchline. Well, I have come to tell you that that's not my situation. That's not my suitcase. I love my congregation. I love the rabbinate. I love the opportunities for service that it gives to me. I love it so much that even when I'm frustrated by those long hours, as most of you who have busy careers are, and I love it even though it separates me from another love of mine, namely academic pursuits. I love it, first of all, because I'm sustained by those memorable words of Daniel, who responded one day when I was exasperated and I looked at him, how he was making such great progress in academic pursuits, and I said, "Daniel, I'm jealous. You get to study all day, and here I am busy with all these things." And Daniel said, memorably, "Dad, do not be jealous of me. I'm jealous of you. You get to help people all day long. What could be better than that?" And so I was comforted, my exasperation diffused by that observation by my son. And so I thank God for the opportunity, even when it's rough, even when, as others have mentioned, there are times of sorrow and times of tears which tear me too, which rend my heart, and I sometimes wonder how often I can go through this, seeing people's tears of loss, of personal bereavement, or anguish or despair because of emotional stress. I sometimes wonder how many more times I can endure and go through and lend a shoulder of sympathy, but then when it works, when it does bring solace and sympathy and it does reassure and help people, what greater satisfaction, what greater gratification can anybody hope for? And so I thank God for all the opportunities of service, be they positive or negative, be they simchas or otherwise, be they happy at the moment or happy in the long run, when I've had a share in removing some of the difficulty in helping a person through. And that gratification is necessary. I love the rabbinate, and I need that love because somebody once observed, and I see it to be so true every day of my life, that rabbis suffer blame that they don't deserve, but we also get so much praise that we don't deserve. And so I figure that one balances the other. That means that since I've heard so many wonderful compliments tonight, you now have free rein to criticize, to find inadequacies, to find fault. You've now got a whole store of compliments that I have to my credit, which I can write checks against by your criticism. So feel So feel free knowing that there is that balance. We also know, we rabbis, that our deeds and our words strike different people differently. Just 2 days ago, Shabbos morning, I tried my hardest to help us relate to this tragic episode of assassination and its implications. I sought to review some of the factors involved and to teach the moral lesson that what we should be doing now is not assigning blame one against the other, not recriminations, bitter and mutual, but a soul searching that says, Mipnei chatoenu, for our sins, not their sins, but our sins, not what they did wrong, but what we did wrong. The reactions to that sermon proved my point. The very first to react to the sermon said, Rabbi, you didn't say enough bad about the Rabin government. Okay. I went further. The next person greeted me and said, Rabbi, you didn't say enough bad about the opposition to the Rabin government, which was essentially the point of my sermon, that there is rectitude and there is sincerity in both camps. And for us to come down hard on one side or the other is to fail in empathy, in understanding, in modesty, in awareness of the rectitude relative of the other position. And that essentially was my message. And then as I went further into the Kiddush, I heard that for others, not on the right or the left, but others, the sermon and its message did indeed edify and instruct and inspire and console, and the accolades were forthcoming, again, much more than I deserved. But I'm glad that the message transcended fixed positions, because that too is my job, to get us to open our hearts and our minds to positions that we don't necessarily agree with. And when the accolades came, I was happy for that. And as I say, I take them both. I take the accolades I don't deserve, because rich or poor, it's better to be rich. And so pro and con, you take sides for or against the rabbi. I love it when you take sides for. Well, these sad and shameful and depressing events of the last several days have led to cheshbon hanefesh, to serious reassessment, part of which has surfaced to inspire us and guide us now and in the future. The first source of guidance and inspiration comes from a half century ago. It now has a new life, being referred to, quoted so often. It was first chief rabbi of Israel, Rav Kook, who before 1935 taught us that if it's true that the first temple was destroyed because of sinas chinam, causeless hatred, enmity, rivalry, the various sects that rivaled and fought among themselves, and therefore while we were fighting, the temple was destroyed, Rav Kook says if that's true, then it behooves us to rebuild our nation, our being, with ahavas chinam, with causeless love, with love that comes in spite of disagreements. The love which is not necessarily earned or deserved. I somehow think that Rav Kook in 1935 knew what was going to happen here in Teaneck tonight, knew that I would receive your love undeserved, your ahavas chinam, these accolades and compliments and tributes which I could not possibly deserve. He knew that that's what's good. It's good for you as well as it's good for me. It raises my morale, which is the intention of the Finkels. It raises your morale, because positive comments and tributes and praises and compliments, they could be all wrong, but they boost our morale. They make us feel good about ourselves, and they become self-fulfilling prophecies. Make me work hard to deserve them. make you work harder to make me deserve them, make you work harder so that that becomes the atmosphere of infectious love, of infectious positive affirmation of people's deeds and accomplishments. All that is good for us. That's mitzvah, goreres mitzvah, and come to think of it, it wasn't Rav Kook who created the idea, who originated it. It comes from our prophetic literature, the prophets known for their admonitions and strictures and reproving of the people of Israel. Hosea said, Ohavim nidava, I will love them even if they don't deserve it. And that set the standard for all of us then, and especially now. We need to raise aloft that banner of Ohavim nidava, of ahavas chinam, of loving even if you don't think the person deserves it. Torah tells us, V'yohavta l'reacha kamocha, love thy neighbor as thyself. My favorite commentary says you can't love your neighbor unless you love yourself. That's why it says as yourself. What does it mean to love yourself? It means you give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Self-serving comments you make about yourself. Most important, you make excuses for yourself. V'yohavta l'reacha kamocha, love your neighbor like you love yourself by making excuses for yourself. Make excuses for the next person. Sympathize, empathize, get into his shoes. Make excuses for him like you make excuses for yourself. Assume that his motives are at least as pure and as valid as yours. And if you do that, then you'll be loving ahavas chinam. You can differ religiously, but remember the person is a human being with the same balance of faults and virtues as you have. How can you allow yourself to say that those areas of disagreement, areas of difference, mean that that person forfeits your love for him? That love is not undeserved. It's very much deserved, except that you're looking in the wrong place. You're looking at an idea or at a position with which he differs from you. It's not the whole person. The person has his achievements, his goodness, his qualities, his motives that are pure. And it is our duty not only to love them, but to pay tribute, like the New York Board of Rabbis and these wonderful speakers this evening. It's our duty to do this, to say so. Ahavas chinam is grace. Love with chen. Chen is such a beautiful root, the root of Yochanan and of Chana, and therefore of John and Jean and Anna and Jeanette and Ivan and Juan. All of the names throughout the world, all based on that one chen root. Chen means grace. You love people with grace because they don't have to deserve it. You have to be gracious. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. You have to have grace. The person finds favor. Motza chen. And that's where peace comes from. Shalom comes in the Birkas Kohanim after So Hashem ponav elecha vichuneka. God is gracious. We are to be gracious. Love with grace. They don't have to deserve it. Everybody deserves it for one reason or another. And we have to tell them that. The Birkas Kohanim, one of my favorite commentaries, Kosev Oruchu es b'nei Yisrael, God says to the priests, this is how you bless the people of Israel. Amor lohem, say unto them, Yevorechecha. The commentaries say, wait a minute, extra words here. Why doesn't it say, Kosev Oruchu es b'nei Yisrael, Yevorechecha? This is how you bless the people, colon, may the Lord bless you. No, this is how you bless the people. Say unto them, and the commentaries say, by saying unto them, you have already blessed them. You've got a compliment. Don't keep it to yourself. Amor lahem, speak up. Encourage a person in what he does, even if he's not doing enough from your standpoint. Encourage, say, give a compliment. Will Rogers said, a good compliment gives me 10 years of life. and I can say that your compliments tonight have made me immortal. So many wonderful compliments that makes me feel good, but it also makes you feel good. So even if I don't deserve it, I know that it's good for you, because mitzvah goreres mitzvah, and love too. Love brings about love. It's infectious, it's communicable, it's contagious. And that's why I'm grateful to the New York Board of Rabbis, because look what it's done for all of us. Look what the Finkels have in their wise philanthropy in conceiving of such a gift to boost the morale of the rabbinate and to boost your appreciation of it, have also boosted our morale and our mood and made us all feel, look, now we've come to a high, let's go on from this, higher and higher, or let's stay on this high. What a wonderful thing it does for us. It's like matching funds. You give matching funds and it encourages good. It elicits equal funds. In my thanks to the New York Board of Rabbis, I pledge to end this speech as an act of love to you. I really have another 6 pages, but I'm going to cross them out, tear them up, shred them out of love for you and not to keep you any longer. And I want to say to the Finkels that just as I want to match your funds of encouragement, I want to match your funds of cash, and also contribute like you have to the enhancement of Jewish life by material gifts as well as by words of encouragement, words of appreciation, words that are balm for the soul, make me feel great, make us all feel good. Halavai weiter, and the program proceeds, and coffee has already been poured, so after just a few more preliminaries, we can meet there and bring a wonderful evening to a conclusion. I thank Madeline Bornstein and Milton for doing that part. I thank Steve Greenberg and all the people here in the choir for all the good things they've done. I thank you for your sentiments of friendship and love, undeserved accolades, which I promise to try a little harder to earn. Thank you again very much.